during a year or so in boxing, a fighter can experience just about every single emotion possible. He can be in fights as a rank outsider and triumph, and in other fights as the champion and the favourite and foul. It really is one fight at a time, and that is something too many critics, armchair pundits and instant experts fail to grasp. Lee Purdy has had a front row seat on the boxing roller coaster for just over a year. And it's a delight and a pleasure to say that he gets back on Saturday night when he fights for the English title against Chris Johnson on the Kelbrook undercard up in Sheffield. Kelbrook moving closer, we hope, to a world title fight against, well, we're not sure who he'll be fighting when he fights for a world title, but he's fighting a guy called Carson Jones. Anyway, it's a delight and a pleasure to welcome to the show former British champion Lee Purdy. Good afternoon, Lee.
Hello, mate.
It's fair to say it's been a bit of a roller coaster, is that correct?
Yeah, of course it has, yeah. Do you know, I've had ups and downs like last year, and Joe, I'm back on track now, because I'm not actually fighting for the English title, I'm defending it, because I won it last time out. Yeah, I won it last time out.
So, but the situation last year is you beat Craig Watson in 2 fights, when certainly the first fight I don't think you consider yourself to be, in your mind you might have been the favourite, but I think most people would have considered him, it's his hometown, to be the favourite, and you managed to do a good job on him. Then you repeated that job again right back in his home in his hometown, and then against Colin Lyons in your hometown, admittedly quite close to where Colin's from as well, you end up dropping a sort of a tight decision. It's you couldn't. No, that's just a crazy series of results there, Lee.
Yeah, I know. You know, I took my eye off the ball for a split second with Colin.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened that night, but
he's good as well. You know, let's get it right. He's a bit of a warhorse, Cole, isn't he?
That night. Yeah, he fought out of his skin that night, and fair play to him.
Yeah.
So he was over 30 years old, and to pull out a performance like he did, this fair play to him.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not sure what it was, but I just didn't seem like right up for that fight. But I've learned a lot from that fight, so it's sort of onwards and upwards. I come back and I defeated Adnan Amar last time out.
Which is a good win, yeah.
And now I'm fighting this Chris Johnson.
Yeah, and still a big old division welterweight. Still several good fights out there for people. Would you agree? I mean, it's turning a bit interesting at the moment.
Yeah, it's buzzing at the moment. There's loads of top 10 fighters out there that are really good, and there's some big fights to be made. Yeah,
I think there's some serious money to be made in the British welterweight division for if a few guys, you know, if a few promoters and fighters see sense and fight each other. I think there's a little sort of series of semi-finals leading into finals. I think it's good.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm not surprised that during the winter ain't had got a fight lined up yet, but. Who really wants to fight Junior Whitty, you know?
Yeah, that's the truth.
That's the only thing, you know. He's got a horrible style when no one really wants to fight him.
No, he has got a horrible style, but the thing is, with his world championship pedigree, he's also a terrific scalp. So I fancy that Gavin fancies him. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who else. There's always Hatton. There's also Matthew Hatton out there somewhere.
Yeah, because he'll be looking for a comeback soon.
Yeah,
no doubt, and that could be a great fight.
Be an entertaining fight, because obviously, you know, we waited for about 5 years for Hatton against Witter. The only thing was it was a different Hatton. It was Ricky.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, Chris Johnson's fairly lively, certainly up on that northern circuit. He's a decent quality fighter. Is it sometimes harder when you're fighting guys that you've maybe not seen on main bills? You have to go out and do a little bit of extra work finding out more about them, Lee?
Yeah. You know, he's a bit of an unknown quantity, really. But we got his luck. I've seen his last fight on DVD, and you know, it's just been enough. And I've read bits and pieces about him from his fight, so we know a little bit about him, and you know, enough to go in there with the right tactics to beat him, I hope. Are
you the type of fighter that needs to do lots of homework? You need to rest assured that you've done everything you could possibly do before you get in the ring.
Nah, not really. I'll
Okay.
leave that up to Tony. Tony sort of does that. He got me the DVD. I think it was a 6-rounder. I probably watched a round and a half of him, and but Tony watched the whole fight. He's probably watched it 3 or 4 times, and
probably has.
He through training on the pads in the ring when I'm sparring, he'll tell me what to do, what he thinks will work, and I just got to do it. So he sort of does the studying and tells me how to beat him, and I just go along with Tony.
The you know that gym at the moment, Sims's gym, it's getting a bit lively, getting a bit noisy. It must be fantastic for sparring. All the different fighters floating in and out.
It's buzzing, it is, and sometimes it's packed down there. It's full of like boys coming down to spar, and Joe, we have a good crack down there, and everyone gets on. Everyone works hard, and we're all buzzing at the moment because hopefully we're all out in September as well on the same show.
That's the big Darren Barker September 15th show, whatever it is. Yeah. That'd be a lot of fun. Great to see Darren back now that his hips, in theory, are all sorted. So you're back on a big Kell Brook undercard. Kell looking for a world title fight. He seems to have been looking for a world title fight for about 7 fights. This is going to be my next fight. Then after that, it's a world title fight. I hope he does get his chance, Kell, because I personally like Kell. I think he gets a little bit of stick because he's a little bit cocky, but he's not a bad fella to be around, is he?
No, of course he ain't. And he's knocking on the door of a world title, and if he beats this Carson Jones, he's pretty much there. And Carson's on a big unbeaten run at the moment, and it'll be a good name on his record. And
it certainly will.
The next fight, or definitely the fight after Kell will probably be fighting for a world title.
And listen, and he deserves it. Maybe he'll be on that undercard as well in an important fight of your own. Listen, Lee, it's a delight and a pleasure to welcome you back to the show. Enjoy yourself on Saturday night, and I'll speak to you soon. And enjoy your summer.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
So that was Lee Purdy there talking to me. Lee Purdy, last year he came from nowhere, and I really mean from nowhere, really. And he was up at the MEN up in Manchester on the undercard of the Paul McCloskey and Mia Khan fight, and he was in against Craig Watson for the British welterweight title, and and I thought, listen, we'll put it up because he'd already gone 12 rounds with Denton Vassell for the Commonwealth title. I thought he'll get the rounds, he'll go to 12. Watson's on his home turf. Watson fancies it. Oi, oi, oi. Anyway, no disrespects to Craig Watson, who's a kid I like, but Lee did a job on him, smashed him to bits in 5. Anyway, 3 months later, Watson, who didn't come up with any excuses, just said, I got it wrong on the night, I'll get it right in the rematch. So there's another rematch. This time, it's not just in Manchester, it's in Oldham. It's getting even closer to Craig Watson's house. Honestly, it's his backyard. And lo and behold, if Lee doesn't go up there and defends his British welterweight title and stops him in the 5th round again. So then, as I sort of alluded to in the interview, he gets a payday at home. Your call, OK? He's from Essex, and he's got Colin Lyons, who's the veteran's veteran. OK? He's been around for 1,000,000 trillion years, Colin Lyons, and he's gone all over Britain, winning titles, losing titles, European, Commonwealth, British. Anyway, that takes place last November, and I think it's fair to say Lee Purdy was a big favourite to win that. And lo and behold, Colin Lyons didn't beat him, and beat him comfortably. Anyway, then Lee goes up to Sheffield and fights Adnan Amar, who trains alongside Kell Brook. It's a Kell Brook main event. It's Adnan Amar's hometown, and I think it's fair to say that Lee was a decent underdog. Admar had only lost once in 26 fights, and what happens? Lee Purdy discovers his fighter's head again and smashes Amar to bits in 5 rounds. There's a pattern here of 5-round stoppages when he's meant to lose. Anyway, he's into that fight tomorrow, defending his English title, as he correctly pointed out to me, against Oldham's Chris Johnson. No doubt, win or lose, there'll be a rematch in Chris Johnson's hometown of Oldham. I tell you, he's not afraid to get on the road, is he, Lee Purdy? And before that,